Hello, future engineers. Good day. I hope everyone is doing well and fine. Welcome to our class BS026 Dynamics of Rigid Bodies. So, first, let's have a minor recap on our subject requirements. So, our subject code BS026 Dynamics of Rigid Bodies. Credit to units prerequisite the statics of rigid bodies. So, in this subject, we're going to talk about the kinetics and the kinematics of a particle and also of rigid bodies, the work energy method, and the impulse and momentum. So for our discussion, we'll be talking about these different type of motion, the rectilinear kinematics, the continuous and the erratic, motion of a projectile, curvilinear motion, and other discussions along in this subject course. So for our grading system, again, no, so we will have a four exams, the first periodical, second, third periodical, and then the final exam. So your final grade will be 20% of the first, second, and third periodical, and 40% of the final exam grade. Final, yes. And it should be greater than 60% to pass these course or subject. So now let's begin. Let's discuss the preliminaries. So our subject is about the dynamics of rigid bodies. So dynamics of rigid bodies is under the branch of engineering mechanics. Okay, so what is mechanics? Mechanics is the science concerned with the motion of bodies. So mechanics is concerned on the motion of bodies under the action of forces. So, including the special case in which a body remains at rest. Okay, so now, in the historically, mechanics was among the first of the exact sciences to be developed. So, ang mechanics is talks about the motion of certain bodies, no, from planetary bodies to the bodies here on Earth to microscopic bodies or particles. So this is mechanics. So engineering mechanics is application of engineering in mechanics. So mechanics may be divided into three branches. So mechanics has three branches. The first one we have the statics. So in your the prerequisite of the subject, no, this is the statics of rigid bodies. So statics of rigid bodies deals with what? Deals with forces acting on body at rest. Now, the second and the third branch of mechanics is what we call the dynamics of rigid bodies. So the dynamics of rigid bodies has two parts. The first one is the kinematics. Okay. So the kinematics of rigid bodies is concerned with objects in motion. So that's why in the kinematics we talk about the acceleration, the velocity, displacement, the time, and the trajectory in projectiles of the motions, no? So kinematics is only about the motion of object, the geometry of the object. So dili gina-neglect na to ang forces na di taga-focus kay sa forces with kinematics. Okay. So tong focus diri is ano possible motion of a body. Now the second part on the third branch of mechanics, we call it kinetics. Okay, balik na kami ni kinematics, no? So si kinematics is purely mathematical expressions used to calculate katong velocity, acceleration, displacement, time, and trajectory. So it comes from the Greek word kinesis, which means motion. So mo na siya. So si kinetics pod explains or predicts the motions of a body or a system of body. So this is predicts the motion of a body or system of bodies. So, kinematics is possible motions of a body neglecting the forces. Kinetics is also the motion of a body nga giapil na nato ang understanding ni kuani forces. Okay, see statics, di ba, forces acting on a body at rest. So here we before you learn about the equilibrium of forces na. So in this subject no, we analyze stresses katong we have forces, and then we are going to get the reaction. We have the methods of joints, method of sections, also sa beams. So sa here in statics you solve for kuan reaction.